Hello everybody, this is Deepak Sharma again here, recording an online session from Sage 300 2017, lesson 19, focused on adjustment processing from account receivable module. So this session is focused on chapter 19 that covers adjustment batches in account receivable. So as I have mentioned to you guys in my previous lecture about lesson 18, these chapters are based on each other. So to start lesson 19 you must finish lesson 18 first, and lesson 18 to do you have to complete lesson 16, so they are built on each other. So now we focus on lesson 19. So when we started account receivable, we set up the account receivable, we set up the customer profile, and in lesson 18 we recorded some of the entries in account receivable batches where we entered the opening batch and posted that in the in account receivable module. Then we processed some transactions in AR, recorded some invoices, debit note and credit note. Now we're jumping into lesson 19, which focus on adjustment batches. So before I start what we need to cover in lesson 19, so I wanted to tell you guys what the adjustment batches are used in account receivable module. So if you remember adjustment batches in accounts payable, this is a similar approach used in account receivable as well. So when you are doing adjustment batches, what you're trying to do is you're trying to rectify the errors that are made in your system. Okay, so these are the internal errors. That means you made a mistake, you posted something to a wrong inventory item, or you posted to a wrong GL account, and now you want to correct it. There's nothing you have to tell the customer because everything is okay on the invoice. All you have to do is you have to revise the information in your system. So in back in Sage 300, you don't have the flexibility of adjusting your invoice. So all you have to do is you either have to reverse the batch and re-enter it, which we don't suggest because once you post the batch, technically that batch is posted, has been stamped. So if there's an internal error which is not going to affect the customers or your invoice, you can rectify using adjustment batches. So what they will do is they will originally change the invoice to whatever it is supposed to be by looking at what the original was, what correction you need to do, and what adjustments you need to make. So one thing you have to understand is adjustment batches are only used to rectify the errors that you are doing in-house only. Then the other thing that you have to know is that there are two kinds of adjustments that you can do in the system. So there is one adjustment which you will do is when you are recording a transaction which you originally recorded, and when you give it to a manager at the warehouse or your sales manager, they rectify the invoice manually and made a photocopy and give it to you and ask you to revise it in your system because he revised it manually and give it to the customer. So customer has the right amount. Now you have to change that amount in your system so that way you have the correct amount that is supposed to be on the invoice. So that change requires adjustment with the numbers. So that is a one adjustment. So I'm going to show you guys how that adjustment is going to work in your account receivable module. So here we have an account receivable, and all the transaction you guys find is account receivable transactions, and these are your adjustment batches. So to record it, you have two ways. You can either click straight into adjustment entries, or you click on adjustment batch list, and then when you click here, you see there is no batches. We're going to create a batch, so we're going to click new. Here's your batch number 1. Here we're going to call this is adjustment February 2019. Okay, so that is your batch and this is your batch date. Now you come into your first transaction, so we're going to do an adjustment to an invoice 100, and it is to John's. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you is what happened in the previous chapter. There was an exercise that I created which I did in my previous session. So I created an invoice where I sold 10 of the items to Mr. Jones at $15 per unit. So you enter the invoice because that was the price that you had in the system, But when you actually give it to the sales manager, what he did, because he has some agreement with the customer, he revised the sale price to $9. Okay, so that means when you originally created, you said $10 per unit, and it was 15 units, and the customer told you that we're gonna revise this. The sales manager told you we're gonna revise it to $9 per unit, and that means 9 times 15 is $135. But the original invoice you created was 10 multiplied by 15 was 150. So now you have to revise it. That means we're gonna reduce the in sales by $15 plus the HST. So that's the adjustments we need to do. The reason we're not doing this in as a credit note, because the sales manager has made the adjustment on the invoice before he gave it to the customer. So customer knows it is 135. So here what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in, just make an adjustment here. So I'm gonna say Mr. John. Then the first thing you're gonna do is whenever you're making an adjustment, it has to reflect to the original invoice. So you're gonna go in, pick up the document, and the document is this one, 1000. Okay, see, this is $150 plus tax, and here we're gonna make an adjustment. So now here we cannot change the item because there's nothing changing with the item. All we can do is pick up the sales account, because we're gonna reduce the revenue. There's no change in the inventory because the item is still there. We got 10 items. All we're gonna do is we're gonna reduce the sales with $15. Now to reduce the sales, what do we do? Debit or credit? We're gonna do debit $15. Okay, so now what else we're gonna do? We also have to make a change in your GST HST account. So we're gonna click insert. Okay, so I cannot find the shift button here. It's on my laptop that I'm using. Okay, so somehow I don't able to find the insert button here. That's very strange. Can we click go and then come back and say no, it's not that thing. See if I can insert. Anyhow, I'm not gonna be concerned about that. This is very strange. I'm using a Surface. There is no insert button here. So okay, I'm gonna assume that I created another line here, which I cannot do right now. So what you need to do is you also have to change select another account here, which is going to be GST HST, and then you're going to put the amount, which is going to be 15 times 13%. And when you see that, then you're going to see that your account receivable is being credited with that amount, 15 plus HST. Okay, and once you see that, that's the amount that will be adjusted in your account receivable. That means your account receivable will be credited, means it will go down. So we're going to click save, and then we click add. It will take you to the next line. Okay, so next line, I don't have the example, but I'm showing you what it's going to look like. Is the second type of adjustment that happens is when you post an entry to a wrong GL account and now you have to correct it. What you do is you debit one account, you credit the other account. Okay, so for example, the same entry we just did, if I were to rectify the error, I made a sales for electrical division, but it was supposed to be machinery division. So to correct it, what you do is you come into the same place right here, create a new entry, select that customer, select that document, and when you come in here, you're gonna credit, you're gonna debit the sales account that you want to reverse from, and you're gonna credit the other sales account that you want to post into. So you see debit and credit on the same line, and then when you come into the next line, then you will go in and then add that item as well. Okay, so but in that case, if you're debiting one account and you're crediting an account, crediting the other account, there will be no change in your account receivable. Okay, so that is the second type of adjustment that could happen in your adjustment batch. Okay, so now once your adjustment batches are created, so here I only created one, but there's two kinds of adjustment that you could see in that. And now to record that you post that entry, the process still the same, nothing changes with the process. Ready to post, you change it to yes. It's asking me to print it, so I'm just gonna print it on the screen only. It's already on the previous settings, so I don't have to go change anything. Okay, so that's your batch for account receivable. And now once you're ready, you're gonna say yes and click post. Okay, so now your entry is posted in your account receivable. So that's how you will post the account receivable batches. So now remember what I told you guys, is any transaction you're doing in account receivable batch, there is a transaction that is getting recorded in your journal ledger. See here in journal ledger, all these transactions that you see here, they are all coming from account receivable. Okay, so these are all the batches coming in from. So this is your opening entry, that's your entry that you did last week, and this is another entry we did last week, and this is the one we just did now with the $15. Okay, so everything that's coming here, what you will do is at the end, which I'll show you guys in the later chapter, you'll be posting these other than the opening batches. Okay, so that's about the batches. Now the last thing is how do you print a posting journal for adjustment batches. Same place that we went last time is account receivable transaction. There you have your batch list, and here's your posting journal. Okay, so one thing that you're going to be doing is printing posting journal. Here you have the different types of batches. This one was adjustment, and the posting sequence was 1, so you don't have to change it. It's only one batch there, and then you leave it as default and click print, and there is your batch posting batch AR posting journal, and that is your batch number 1. That's how you print. So once you print it, you post it, put it into your filing, and then you're done with your adjustments from account receivable. So this is the end of lesson 19, and we'll encourage you guys to complete your lesson 19. And if you don't have the software installed, read through it. There are questions at the back of the textbook. Go through it and make sure you understand it. And if there's any questions, feel free to send me a message on a Blackboard or to Humber email. Thank you.